On this episode of AMA Air, we remind you of a few things you should know before you fly.
And we'll introduce you to the man bringing another aspect of the hobby to Model Aviation magazine.
Plus, you may have heard of AMA's Walk of Fame, but we'll tell you just what it is. All that and more on this episode of AMA Air.
Hello everybody, and welcome to AMA Air, your source for modeling news. I'm Chris Savage.
And I'm Erin Dobbs.
The Alaska Drone Racing League's winter season began on December 9th, and the next indoor race is January 6th in Anchorage, Alaska. They're accepting new pilots in the Tiny Whoop and Micro Multi-GP defined classes, so contact them to get started.
The FAI Southwest Regional Free Flight Championships will be held in Eloy, Arizona on January 13th through the 15th. There will be FAI, AMA, FAC, NFFS, and SAM rules classes held at the same field. And you can pre-enter online before January 1.
The Coachella Valley RC Club will be hosting the 6th annual Desert Warbirds Fun Fly in Thermal, California, January 13th and 14th. There will be awards, food, raffles, and vintage full-scale flybys.
The Remote Control Association of Central Florida will be holding an air show in Apopka, Florida on January 6th. Every size and type of aircraft will be on display and in the air.
The Merrimack Valley Air Aristocrats will be holding an indoor contest on January 7th in Georgetown, Massachusetts. Dime Scale, FAC Scale, Phantom Flash, and Bostonian are just a few of the categories.
Finally, the Willamette Modelers Club will be holding indoor record trials in Albany, Oregon on January 14th. All indoor free flight events will be flown and visitors are welcome. For more information on these events or to find one in your area, you can check out the sanctioned event calendar in Model Aviation or at modelaircraft.org.
Well, I'll tell you what, it might be winter outside, but there is definitely a ton of flying going on all over the country, even in places where it's cold.
Even in places where it's cold. But speaking of not cold, we're going to be at AMA Expo West coming up January 5th through the 7th in 2018.
That's right, and coming up, we have some new information on how you can experience AMA Expo West.
Want more news and stories from the AMA and Model Aviation magazine? Subscribe to the new Media Minute newsletter. You'll get a quick look at some of the stories you might have missed from Model Aviation right in your inbox. And for the drone and helicopter enthusiasts, the new Rotor Report is just for you. You'll find stories, tips and tricks, product reviews, and more from the world of helicopters and drones that will get your props spinning. Find these newsletters and others at www.modelaircraft.org/publications.
If you want to help the AMA Foundation reach its goal of $225,000 in 2017, you still have a couple of weeks left. Visit amafoundation.modelaircraft.org and click on Donate Now. The foundation is a not-for-profit 501c3, so your donations may be tax deductible.
AMA Expo West is less than a month away. If you can't make it to Ontario, California, January 5th through the 7th, you can still be a part of the excitement with our AMA Expo Express coverage. We'll be live on Facebook each day at 9, 10, 11, 2, and 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time to bring you a taste of the show. For more details and information on how you can find even more coverage, be sure to follow AMA on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as we'll be posting updates over the next couple of weeks. You will also be able to find all your Expo coverage at modelaviation.com.
For some of our dedicated members, a house filled with model aircraft is a dream come true, if not for some already a reality. For one man in Sydney, Australia, it is definitely a reality. Noel Macon has 320 model airplanes and boats on display in his home. According to the dailymail.com, he has probably built 600 models over the last 45 years, but gives away the older ones. Just look at that collection. Noel credits his wife as well, calling her the most patient woman in the world.
Well, around the holidays, some people may be discovering the hobby for the first time. Others may be rejoining after some time away, and still others may just need a refresher. It's never a bad idea to think about safety, so we're here to remind you of a few things that you should know before you fly. When we head out to our flying field on a calm summer afternoon, it's easy to look up at the sky and think about how big the airspace is. And it's easy to lose sight of one of the most important sections of our AMA safety code, see and avoid. Although it is a big sky, we also share the airspace with other users, including full-scale manned aircraft and a growing number of unmanned aircraft. The airspace belongs to all of us, and we all have an obligation to ensure the safety of our fellow airmen, as well as the safety of people and property on the ground. To do this, we must be aware of other aircraft when we fly. Luckily, the AMA has some easy tips to help you fly safely. Consideration for manned aircraft has been a part of AMA Safety Code for a long time, and it's one of the many reasons our members have an excellent record of keeping everyone in the air and on the ground safe. Under the law, operators of model aircraft must stay away from manned aircraft. The first step in avoiding other aircraft is to select a safe place to fly, like an area without a lot of air traffic and away from people and property. Remember, members of AMA's community-based organization must notify airports that fall within 5 miles of your operations before you fly. If the tower is aware that you're in the area, it makes it easier for full-scale pilots to watch for you while you watch for them. Now, if you're not going to fly within 5 miles of an airport, that doesn't mean you shouldn't assume that other aircraft won't be around. If you've ever seen the cockpit of a full-scale aircraft, you'll know that the view is limited and most onboard instruments aren't designed or even capable of detecting model aircraft. This is why pilots need 100% assurance that your model is out of the airspace. Never assume that the pilot of a manned aircraft will see and avoid your model. If a manned aircraft does enter the airspace you're occupying, make sure your model stays away from it and out of its path. Sometimes, the safest course of action is to land your model until the full-scale aircraft has left the airspace. In extreme circumstances, this could mean putting your model aircraft at risk. But the safety of the people in a manned aircraft is the most important thing and will always trump the safety of a model. Having another set of eyes to help you watch the sky is a good idea, and depending on the circumstances, you may be required to have a spotter on hand watching for aircraft entering the airspace. This person should stay near you, communicate clearly, and be able to take the controls of your model in the event of an emergency. We all have a responsibility to help keep everyone in the airspace safe. To learn more about flying safely, check out our See and Avoid guidelines online at modelaircraft.org today.
Coming up, we'll introduce you to another AMA staff member. You don't want to miss this one.
Every journey starts somewhere. Our journey begins with imagination. And imagination can take us anywhere. Because the best journeys end with new beginnings.
If you read Model Aviation magazine, which of course you do, you may know that there's a new multi-rotor associate editor. Let's meet Matt Ruddick.
My name is Matt Ruddick. I'm the multi-rotor associate editor for Model Aviation and Powered Pilot magazines. I've been with the AMA for about 3 years. I came in as a media producer, taking care of pretty much all the video-related needs for the organization. Even was one of the original producers of this show, AMA Air. Other than flying drones, which I do a lot of, when I'm outside the AMA, outside the office walls, as it were, I like to play guitar. I've been a guitarist for almost a decade now, I think, or more than a decade, and have a lot of fun doing that. I also am an avid photographer. Been taking still photos for close to 20 years now. I've been a musician since 7th grade. Started out in the middle school band, played trombone through middle school and then all through high school, did marching band, all that stuff. So I've always kind of
enjoyed being a musician. I've always had kind of a knack for that. About 10 years ago, I started playing guitar, really because of some of the people that I listened to and I idolized more than anything. I was a big fan of John Mayer, Howie Day, Jason Mraz. One of the things I'm looking forward to the most over the next year is related to my photography. You know, of course I'm going to be out at the Speedway again this summer. I'll be shooting a lot of roller derby here in the spring. But one of the things that's really kind of a new hobby of mine is astrophotography. And I've done some real basic astrophotography up until now. But I really want to start investing in some equipment to do some really cool deep sky imaging of, you know, galaxies and nebula and all that fun stuff. So I think 2018 is going to be kind of the year of astrophotography for me, I think. And one of the things that when I took this position as a multi-rotor associate editor that I wanted to try to focus on was to help bring the traditional modelers and the kind of new technology modelers together. One of the things that I feel like that I can do and will and want to do is to help bring some of that information to each side of what the other side's looking at. There's a lot to be learned, I think, from both sides. And I'm really looking forward to, you know, over the next year, 2, 3, 4 years, however long it takes, to bring everybody kind of together again, back into one group.
Well, I've known Matt for a long time. I'm really excited to see him step into this position. He's just a natural fit for it, and I know he's going to do a great job.
Matt's good people. We really like having him on board. Coming up, learn a little more about the AMA Walk of Fame.
Do you have a story you think we should have on AMA Air? Then visit air.modelaircraft.org and tell us about it by sending us an airmail. And if you're not already a member of the AMA, be sure to visit modelaircraft.org and sign up today.
The AMA Walk of Fame at the International Air Modeling Center was established in 2001 to honor those who have shared their love for model aviation. Designed in the shape of a propeller, the Walk of Fame is a place to celebrate the history of those who have helped support model aviation, allowing it to continue through the years. Recently, friends of Mike Crash Hancock honored the late Crashcast podcast host and founder by purchasing a brick on this Walk of Fame. Crash always ended his podcast with the phrase, "Build something, fly something, and enjoy this great RC hobby." And according to his friends, that's just how he lived his life. If you'd like to purchase a brick on the Walk of Fame, visit amafoundation.modelaircraft.org.
That's all for this episode of AMA Air. You can stay connected with us by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For even more videos, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And from all of us here at AMA, thank you for watching.
We'll see you next time, but for now, it's time to get flying.